Hey everyone, welcome to our 9th journaling class. I am so sad that we only have one more after this. I've really been enjoying journaling online with you, but I hope that this has sparked your interest in journaling and you are looking to continue doing some journaling once this is over. So let's get started. I'm using my journal today. And then I've got some markers, just regular Crayola washable markers. Any markers will work. I'm using the thick ones, but it doesn't really matter what you use. Also, if you don't have markers, that's fine. You can use whatever you have. I've also got the fine tip markers that came in this little pouch, and I've got a fine point black pen that I'm going to be using. And let's see what else. If you can use whatever you want. This is just a general guide. So today's theme is thinking about a positive quote that means something to you. And you can pick one or a couple and just sort of create them throughout your journal. So I'll show you what that's gonna look like. Today we're going to be doing a 2-page spread. I've already done one, and then I'm going to be doing one with you, but you can just stick to one and then decide if you like it or not. I might put some throughout some of my journals pages. When I've been working in my online journal, I've been skipping some pages, so I might go back and put some of these quotes in some of the blank pages in between some of these activities. So that's what my plan is, but your plan can be different. I just want to show you this idea. So let me just turn the camera so you can see what I'm doing. So like I said, I've done this right page already. I'm going to switch over to this page and do a different quote. So it is going to be a 2-page spread, but this one took me about 15 minutes. So this one will probably take me just as long. So this, let me lift this. This artist's name is Lynn Guinta, and she is on Instagram, but I found her quotes on Pinterest, and I just really like the graphic way that she draws the letters, so I wanted to do something similar. If you want to go ahead with me and draw at the same time, you are more than welcome to. You can change color, you can take the quote and do a different design entirely, or you could just do your own quote, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started. The quote just says, "Yes, you can." And I chose this quote because I feel like I'm a little overwhelmed with how school is going to look in the fall, but I am trying to stay positive that whatever it is, whatever it looks like, we'll be able to figure it out. So she does this yes in shapes instead of letters, at least the Y. So I grabbed like this yellow neon, it's kind of orangey, and she does a little triangle for the top of the Y, and then uses a red rectangle for the bottom of the Y. And I think that's why I like her style, is because she creates art out of using letters. It's almost like a more graphic way of drawing, but I like it. And then she's got this like brown rectangle here. So right now these don't look like letters at all, they just look like shapes. And that's fine with me, because in a little bit I'm going to decorate them so that they do look a little bit more like letters and you can actually read the quote. But I did the first one this morning right when I woke up, and it made me very calm. I really like doing it. Just like finding a quote that means something to you and then making it your own, putting it in your journal somewhere where you can see it and think about it. It's just a very calming exercise for me, at least, especially with markers. There's something about markers that are just so satisfying. So there's a black E on the brown rectangle. And then I'm gonna grab my, see, some letters she makes more obvious than others. So the S is pretty simplified, but then we're gonna go in with our pen afterwards and draw on top. So I'm gonna do that now. So on the red rectangle at the bottom of the yes, she does like these fine lines to create a checkered pattern. And remember, if you are like, I like the quote, but I don't like what you're doing, you can just be doing what you want to do and watching or listening along. So I just did like a little checkered pattern, and then on the S, she's got this like funky design. It kind of looks like a little triangle at each end of the S, and then she connects those two triangles. And remember, you can do you. I'm going to do this other pattern on my Y. It's basically a U and a V, and a U and a V. So you might be like, that doesn't look like Y at all. And I agree with you, it doesn't, but that's kind of why I like it. And then the more you look at it, the more you're like, oh, I guess it kind of does. I think that's my style. I'm a little bit more abstract. Okay, and then for the, I don't have a gray, so I'm just gonna use my black marker. Maybe I'll grab, actually, the red again and do something similar. So I'm just doing another triangle upside down for the top of the second Y in U, and then a black bottom for the bottom of my triangle. And then she does like some white pattern. I just like to create weird shapes within my letters and then kind of draw around them. And then I'm just going to do these dotted lines. I'm just having fun trying to create abstract letters. So that's really what I'm doing. And then I'm going to grab this yellow again. And for the O, she does a big orange / yellow. Then a red oval inside of it, and then a pink to fill it in. And then I'm going to use this funky color. It's kind of like a peach to create the U. So if you like playing with letters, this is a good exercise for you because it's a little bit freeing. It doesn't have to look exactly like the letters. So you might be like, that's really hard to see. And it kind of is. You have to stare at it. Yes, you, and then we're going to add can. Oh, that's the wrong one. So for the C, she's got it like this really thick, almost looks more like a U to me. And remember, if you need to like turn your marker on the tip to get more of a fine line, you can do that. I left some white triangles in there and I don't really know why. I'm just playing. And then I'm going to grab my red for the A. And it is also a chunky A. It's like very geometric looking. I've got the marker. I'm really putting pressure on the side of my marker and not the tip to get a fat line. That is what I'm going for. I can grab a darker red or a different colored red and just add some texture. And if you're wondering, like, I don't have all these colors, don't even worry about it. They do not have to be the same. You do not have to be doing the same quote. Just as long as you are practicing drawing letters in an artistic way, almost to make it like a graphic style, then that's really the goal. But also, you do not have to be doing this. It is totally up to you. I just think it's fun to reflect on a quote that means something to you. I'm going to need all the positive quotes I can get in the next month or two. I just used a hot pink to create the N. So now I'm going to have a little bit of fun and do some doodles around my quote. So I'm going to start with like a flower up here. So I'm just going to use my fine point black marker and do this really simplified flower. And then I'll add to that in a little bit. Maybe I will grab this peach color and color inside the lines. Maybe I'll just stick to outlining my flower. Ooh, uh-oh. My marker blended my fine point pen. And I don't love that. But that's okay. Whenever I mess up, I just shrug it off. Looks like a tiny little basketball. And then I'm gonna add 3 lines in each petal. 1, 2, 3. Turning my notebook, 1, 2, 3. It's fun to add doodles to your quote. Just to give it like a tiny little frame. They don't even have to be like real doodles. I'm gonna do a couple like geometric shapes over here and then wait for them to dry and then draw on top. I thought I owned a gray marker. I don't know where it is. And then I'm gonna grab this black one. So I did like a trapezoid shape. And then trying to make them look like 3D gems or something. I'm just drawing on top some fine lines. Just adding any type of like silly little doodle just to give your quote a little bit of imagery. Something else for the viewer to look at. I don't know what happened with this one, but this one's okay. And then let's see, I'm going to do another flower over here. If you're not into flowers, you can skip this part. And then this pink for the inside. Sorry, I just realized I was completely out of frame. You can doodle any type of flower. It doesn't have to look like my flower. Or no flower. If you are looking for inspiration for quotes, try going on Pinterest. I always find like really meaningful, cool looking quotes on Pinterest, and I save them to one board so that I can go back and find them afterwards. But also you can just use Google if that's better for you. I'm just using a black marker now to outline this flower. It's almost in like a teardrop shape, upside down teardrop. And I'm going to go in with my fine tip marker. Looks silly right now. And add a couple tiny little lines. I'm gonna do this butterfly is cool over here. So it's got like, I basically just drew a funky looking square and then did one exactly opposite on the other side. I'm adding a butterfly. And then filling those in, upside down teardrop shape. I'm gonna grab my red marker and outline those shapes that I just drew. And then connect. So when I outline, I connect the wings together, like so. Grab my black marker to add the body of my butterfly and the head. Grab my fine tip marker to add the antennas and also some fine lines. I'm just kind of adding to it as I go, making it up. Does not have to look exactly like the artist I'm inspired by. And then I'm gonna add this like funky looking flower shape down here. Kind of looks like something you'd see in the Lorax. I don't know about you guys, but that was added to Netflix, so I watched that recently. So I basically just added these funny looking yellow leaf shapes. And then I'm gonna grab my black for the stems. Grab this pink marker for the flowers. Grab my fine tip black marker, add some dots on my flowers. These are not realistic, and that's why I like them. It's just very freeing and fun and lighthearted, fun to look at. I might do the same over here with a different type of flower. So I'm using the side of my black marker to get a nice thick line. Basically a V with a line in the middle. Switch it up, same 3 colors. Yellow over here, yellow circle over here. I just like this artist style. She's very, it almost looks like a collage because she's got a lot of very basic shapes. And oops, and she just, she inspires me. It's good to find artists that inspire you to create, because sometimes you feel a little stuck. You're like, I just don't know what to make. You need to look at other artists and get inspired, get ideas, and make it your own. Okay, lastly, I'm gonna add this last shape is almost like a really skinny oval. Boop. A red oval. Fill it in. I wish I had a gray marker. I don't know where it is. I have one. And then I'm gonna do an upside down U under my red oval, fill it in. I'm just using brown. And then I'm gonna grab my fine tip marker and add like a leaf shape. So I do a line in the middle, and then I do 4 V's going down the line. Line them up so that they're symmetrical. Add this like floral design. It's hard to see the black pen on the brown. You have to really look. And then I can just add some more doodles down here. They don't have to be anything at all. I could just add little circles to make it a little bit more lighthearted and whimsical. Whimsical meaning like silly and spirally, lots of shapes, lots of colors. Now I'm just adding whatever I want. Okay, so that's my quote. It says, yes, you can. And then on my other side, it says, be true to you. So these are just fun quotes that I found on Instagram by the artist Lynn Ginetta, and she's on Instagram if you want to look her up. Giunta is her last name. Lynn, Lynn is her first name. And get inspired. Find some quotes that mean something to you. Grab some markers. You can add as many of these quote pages as you want throughout your journals. I hope you guys had fun. We have one more week left, and then I'll see you next Monday. Bye, guys.